Zhao Mu realized that Zishuan was undoubtedly after the crimson yang energy within him. Yet, for something so straightforward, there was no need for a direct interrogation. When Zishuan warned him to choose his words carefully, Zhao Mu figured his new master simply wanted to keep this matter a secret, using the discipleship as a convenient excuse to keep him under lock and key. With a smile, Zhao Mu replied that his master took him in because he saw his immense cultivation potential. This brought a captivating smile to Zishuan's face as he stepped closer, agreeing that this was indeed the sole reason. He praised Zhao Mu's sharp wit, noting that further explanations were unnecessary since they already understood each other perfectly. Zhao Mu assured him that the secret was safe, prompting Zishuan to stand and head for the door. Just then, Lele and Yuan entered the room carrying food and drinks, offering a respectful greeting to their master. Before making his exit, Zishuan instructed the two women to settle Zhao Mu into a cave residence and provide him with an access token. They readily agreed to the command. Zishuan then opened a dimensional portal and stepped through, vanishing from sight. Once he was gone, Zhao Mu waved at the women with a smile, remarking on their reunion. Yuan scowled at his familiarity, but Lele greeted him warmly. Zhao Mu quickly approached them, sliding his arms around their waists and playfully mentioning that despite their intense encounter before, he still didn't know what to call them. Lele shook her head in annoyance, refusing to answer, but Yuan chided her, saying they should be more welcoming since they would be spending a lot of time with their senior brother. Lele softly introduced herself and pointed out Yuan as her older sister. As they set the refreshments down, Lele added that they would get to know each other much better over time. She then mentioned that even though they were just puppet dolls, they still felt pain when injured. This prompted a sharp remark from Yuan, who called Zhao Mu rude and completely lacking in chivalry. Zhao Mu smirked, noting the contrast between the cold, haughty older sister and the gentle, sweet younger one, finding the duo rather intriguing. Shifting the conversation, he asked about the items they brought. Yuan explained that her dish contained the blood essence of a divine transformation realm blood dragon, a rare prize captured by the holy son of the myriad demon forest, who had offered 2,000 jin of it just for a cave residence. Lele chimed in, noting that their master had long abandoned mortal food, so it was best used to nourish Zhao Mu's body instead. As Lele turned away, Zhao Mu suddenly slapped her backside. Yuan flared up instantly, shouting at him and demanding to know what possessed him to act so outrageously. Zhao Mu merely smiled, asking if he truly needed such supplements to strengthen his physique. Without warning, he pinned both of them down onto the bed, catching them completely off guard. Suddenly, an overwhelming, terrifying aura emanated from Zhao Mu, leaving the women trembling and breaking into a cold sweat. He told them he would show them exactly how strong he was, and soon after, they began their dual cultivation, leaving both women deeply satisfied. Outside the room, Zishuan's cheeks flushed crimson as the muffled voices drifted through the door. One pleaded with Zhao Mu to go easier, while another whimpered that she could barely endure it. Zishuan gripped her seat tightly, her face burning hotter by the second. She couldn't help but wonder why he couldn't just finish quickly. Why did he have to make such a scandalous scene every single time? Inside, the dual cultivation session drew to a close. Lele and Yuan lay sprawled across the bed, panting heavily and utterly drained of strength. Meanwhile, Zhao Mu casually adjusted his robes. He reflected that he had maxed out the benefits he could extract from the two puppet dolls, amusement giving way to the realization that his system seemed determined to force him down the path of a villain. A thought crossed his mind, prompting him to ask the exhausted pair about the background of the Holy Sun, and why he was so incredibly eager to please their master. Yuan replied that the Holy Sun, whose name was Junmo, was clearly infatuated with Zishuan. He spent most of his time outside the sect and returned only occasionally, but he always brought back a massive haul of rare and precious treasures for her whenever he did. Zhao Mu let out a low chuckle upon hearing this, realizing the formidable Holy Sun was nothing more than a lovesick follower of the Saintess. His gaze shifted to the meat left on the table. He grabbed it and began to eat, resolving that no matter what happened, he would never let anyone else intercept the first 10,000-fold return from the Saintess. Once finished, he stepped out of the chamber, only to stop in his tracks. Zishuan was sitting right there waiting for him. She looked up and remarked that he had finally decided to show his face. Before Zhao Mu could even utter a response, Zishuan thrust an object toward him, telling him to take it. It was a storage ring packed with an assortment of medicinal pills and cultivation boosters. A grin spread across Zhao Mu's face, and he praised the saintess for her immense generosity, offering his formal thanks to his master for the reward. And Zishuan merely dismissed it, stating it was simply fair compensation for his hardships. She then informed him that Niuao had already been locked away in the Thousand Demon Hall to serve his sentence. The man would not see the light of day for at least a year. However, she admitted her hands were tied when it came to Long Tianxiang. The absolute most she could do was orchestrate a delay in his arranged marriage to elder Lu Haikong's granddaughter. The revelation gave Zhao Mu pause. Even the saintess lacked the leverage to completely shake Long Tianxiang's standing. And Zishuan broke his train of thought, asking if he was satisfied with the outcome, noting it was the best result she could possibly deliver given the circumstances. Zhao Mu adopted a respectful tone, replying that he understood completely. As her disciple, he recognized the constraints his master had to operate under. Then, his expression shifted, turning dead serious. He added that when the time came, he would personally exact vengeance for how he had been treated. And Zishuan watched him in silence for a moment. Breaking the quiet, she told him he was free to go, but left him with a strict reminder that he was required to visit her at least 3 times every month. Zhao Mu gave a polite bow of agreement. And Zishuan wasn't quite finished, however. She added cold advice, warning him that before she could fully exploit his worth, he had better ensure he didn't go and get himself killed. Zhao Mu simply smiled and nodded in response. Moments later, he was walking out of the cave structure. Feeling a wave of exhaustion hit him, he stretched his arms while thinking that it wouldn't be long now before he triggered that elusive 10,000-fold return from the saintess. Gazing out at the surrounding landscape blanketed by sea of clouds, he reminded himself that he was now an official direct disciple of the sect. It was high time he staked out his own territory within the inner sect and established his own blessed cave residence. His steps halted abruptly when a voice called out to him. Zhao Mu turned around, blinking in confusion as the stranger asked to confirm his identity. Standing right before him was a woman with striking white hair and distinct horns. She wore a revealing polka dot outfit, complemented by a small bell fastened around her neck. A single glance made it glaringly obvious that she belonged to the Minotaur race.
The chapter ends here. Watch out for our upcoming uploads. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you'll always be updated on our future videos.